I think you have to ask yourself within what you want to do with your career, because I feel like some kids
Okay.
they train because they feel like there's some sort of pressure on them to do this, but I believe it's within. You have to know within that this is what you want to do, and that's the mindset
Yeah.
you have to bring every day, because you wake up every morning to go to work. It shouldn't be somebody telling you or pushing you to go there. It should be you. It should be coming from
Yeah.
you. I
Okay.
need to get in the gym. I need to get myself here. I need to make sure this is what I'm working on. It has to start from within. So I think the success not only comes from not stopping, it comes from the the idea of, I made this decision that I want to get to this finish line. I have to do this, and that to get there, and that has to
No, I
come from
love that.
within.
Time out. Time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders come to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. What if the difference between average and elite wasn't talent, but belief? What's up, family? Coach Randy here. Welcome to the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, systems, habits. This is where champions in school, sport, and life are made. Let's lock in and let's build. Family, today we've got someone in the studio who lives in the trenches of development every single day. Coach Justin Haro is a basketball trainer and player development specialist who's worked with athletes from elementary school all the way to the NBA. But here's what makes him different. He doesn't just train skills, he builds confidence. Because at the highest level, everybody can play, but not everybody believes. Coach Justin has built his reputation on energy, communication, and a relentless commitment to helping athletes grow, not just as players, but as people. He understands something most miss. How you approach the process defines your results. So today, we're talking habits, we're talking mindset, we're talking what it really takes to separate yourself in a crowded game. Family, help me welcome Coach Justin Haro. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Coach, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be spending some time with you, and let's kick it off.
Oh, good, man. We're so excited to have you on board. And before we dive in, I want to start with you, not your resume, not the athletes you've trained, you. For everyone listening, tell us who you are, your story, your roots, and the moments that built you,
Yes.
because every champion has a beginning, and I want to hear yours.
Yes. So first off, name is Coach Justin Haro, born and raised in the Valley. I've lived here my whole life.
Okay.
I played some high school basketball at Granada Hills Charter High School. I played
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Wait, when you were there, were you, who was the head coach?
Coach
Don Loperena?
Loperena. Coach Loperena was the coach. Coach Bent was the
Yeah.
assistant coach. And Coach
John
Bent was
Loperena
the
is my business partner, longtime
really
business partner. Yes.
got got mad love for Coach Lope.
Okay.
We didn't always see eye to eye when I was over
Yeah.
there, but
Yep.
he
Yep.
definitely helped with my development. Great coach. Coach Bent, another great coach over at
Man,
Granada.
I just saw him the other day, 2, 3 weeks ago. They won the championship. I was there at that.
Yes. It's funny. I had seen Coach Bent the very next day, so I was able to congratulate him and
Oh, okay.
chat up a little bit. Yeah, great guy over at Granada. I like what they're doing over there.
Were you there with Mike Mensa or no?
Yes. Well, Mike's a little younger than me, so I
Okay.
do remember
Okay.
when Mike came in. But we didn't actually get the chance to play together. He was younger than me, so I think
Oh, okay. Okay.
2 or 3 years younger than me. But I do know Mike. I've been knowing Mike for a little while. That's my guy too.
Okay. Yeah. No, I help out with Build Your Way Elite as well, and
Yes,
Mike
yes.
is we yeah, for sure. All good, man. No, we got a small circle. Go ahead. Tell me more
Small
about
circle,
you.
no, yeah, for sure. So yeah, that I was over at Granada. I
Okay.
ended up transferring to a small school called Valley Academy. It's
Yeah.
Boss over on Balboa. Very, very,
Yeah.
very small school. I was able to get an opportunity to really showcase my skills because the team was very, very new at the time. So the coach kind of gave me
Okay.
the green light. I was
Yeah.
able to get my name out there a little bit. I was wishing that I got maybe one more year under my belt over at Voss. I didn't get a chance to really get my name out as much as I wanted to. The thing with me is I only played, I believe, 3 years of high school. I didn't even make the freshman team my very first year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
There's a reason for that. I know over at Granada they do their summer workouts, and I did not show up to those. Yes, I was one of those where I thought,
Yeah.
man, I'm better than all these kids. I used to just be able to
Okay.
show up to crowds and be able to make the team, but that wasn't the case. So right there already, that was a learning experience for me, knowing that like when they tell you to show up to these things, it actually matters. You
That's
want to show
important.
up
Yeah.
and show
Yeah.
up.
I want to pause real quick there, Justin, before
Yep.
you continue. It's just that with a lot of the players, there are a lot of even eighth graders just trying to make the high school team. They think that yeah, they're going to be good enough, but there's a lot of eighth graders that are going to be putting in work during the summer. And like you said, you got to put in the work before you actually
Yes.
get ready for high school. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, very true. Very, very, very true. So yeah, on that point, you want to make sure that you show face. I always learned that some of the best basketball players are the ones that could follow directions and listen.
Mm,
So
yeah.
if it was, given the instruction to show up for the summertime, you got to show up. And
Okay.
that was part of the
Okay.
reason why I didn't make it. So I took that
Yeah.
as a learning experience, but I was still able to get a few years under my belt. I had a great senior year over at Voss. After I graduated high school, I went over to the Philippines and played over in the Philippines some college basketball.
Nice.
I played over at
Okay.
San Sebastian
Nice.
for
Nice.
about a year. That situation didn't work out as well as I thought it would. Also, I was very young at the time. I think I was 18, coming
Okay.
straight out of
Okay.
high school, coming
Oh,
off a
wow.
hay horse because I had a great senior year. I was, very confident. But moving to a foreign
Okay.
country like that, you do not know what to expect.
Was that the first time you've ever been in the Philippines, or have you been to the Philippines before?
That was my second time. I've been to the Philippines before, but the
Okay.
very first time I was there, I was maybe 2 or 3 years old, so I don't remember.
Oh, okay. So very different.
Going
Yeah.
was a new experience for me. So it was a learning curve. I had to, adjust. The physicality, the level of physicality in the Philippines is a little bit different, skill wise and
Yeah.
athleticism. It's
Yeah.
not really
Sure.
in the Philippines, but they do play physical, so that was something that I had to,
Yeah.
adjust. And that's for basketball all throughout. There's adjustments that have to be made. The style of basketball isn't always the same where you go, but you have to be an adjustable basketball player. So that was one thing that kind of held me back. I think development was something that I wish I had as a youngster. Knowing now as
Yeah.
a trainer, I could see, everybody has a trainer. Everybody works with somebody. Me
Yep.
growing up, I never had that. I never had that. I was just always self-taught. I was always the guy that was just in the gym on his own. So
Yeah. Yeah.
take the resources that some of the kids have nowadays, I just hope that they could take that and use that to their advantage because there's so many trainers, there's so many great basketball minds out there now that could really give back.
Yeah.
I think, for me, that was one thing that I lacked when I was younger. I wish I had a little bit more guidance coming up in the
That's
game. So that's
important.
why I
That's
want to
key.
bring back and
Yeah.
get back to those now because I see what the journey. It's a long journey, and you just never know where this basketball can take you. And it's always helpful to have some guidance to kind of push you in the right direction.
For sure. For sure. Thanks for sharing that, Coach Justin. So you've worked with athletes at every level, from
Yes.
youth to the NBA. What was the moment you realized that true player development goes beyond skills and is really about building confidence and habits?
Yes. So, well, I've been able to see some of the highest level athletes train. Fortunately, I've been able to watch and be a part of some of the workouts with Kevin Durant, Jalen Brown, Jalen Green,
Okay.
and I'm only mentioning some of these names because you see the certain level that these guys are working at. Kevin Durant has been in the league for years on end, and he still works out like he's in high school. There's a reason why
Okay.
he's at the level he's at.
What do you mean
So
by that?
it's
Is it the fundamentals he's working on? Is it the
no,
amount of time, the effort? What do you mean by that?
it's the effort. You could see the
Okay.
drive. He still wants to learn. He still wants to pick up information, being that
Yeah.
he's a NBA champion, NBA MVP. He still has the mindset of a youngster wanting to learn the game, wanting to
Got it.
develop.
Got it.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the mindset youngsters should come up with, knowing that this is an ever growing evolution. You want to learn every single day. There's no stop point. There's always room to grow.
Right.
There's always
That's right.
room to. And that's what I've noticed that have gotten these guys to that certain level. It's not so much, hey, I worked out, I worked out for 3 hours a day. Was those 3 hours intentional? Was it something that you were going to take some information away with that and build on it? Or were you just trying to break a sweat? There's guys that just want to break a sweat, and there's guys that want to take information with them and build on it and build on it and build on it. Those are what takes you to that next level. And that's kind of the difference I've seen in development space.
All right, let's pause right here for a second. I want to ask you something. If nothing changed over the next 6 to 12 months, would your student athlete be more confident, more prepared, closer to their goals, or still hoping things just work out? That's exactly why Athletic Connect is the primary sponsor of this show, because the difference we see, it's not talent, it's structure, it's mindset, it's having a real system. Inside Athletic Connect, we help student athletes build confidence, discipline, and a clear plan from daily habits to performance to creating a digital identity that actually gets noticed by colleges. And this isn't just basketball. This is for student athletes in every sport who are serious about their future in the classroom, on the court, on the field. So here's the move. Go check out athletic.connect.com and see how we're helping athletes become built different in sport, in school, and in life. All right, let's get back to the show. And that's amazing. That perspective you shared there on confidence and habits and intentional information really shifts how people think about development. And when you start focusing on habits daily, it naturally brings up how consistency plays a role in long-term success, right? You emphasize that success comes from never quitting. How have you seen consistency and daily discipline separate the athletes who make it from those who fall short?
Yes. Again, that's something that I've always honed on is I believe in success comes from just never quitting, never stopping. I feel like success comes from you just push through. There's going to be hard days. There's going to be days where you feel like giving up, but those that just keep pushing through are going to end up at that finish line. I think you just don't quit. So I've seen guys, I work out every day, 6 a.m. in the morning, and I've seen guys that have shown up, they'll show up for a few weeks on end, and then I don't see them again. But the progression that I've seen with those that have stuck with it, days in and days on out, days in and days on out, you see the level change start to come, and that gap in between starts to widen and widen. Those that just stick with it, that gap starts to widen and widen and widen. So that's my emphasis. I like to always preach, just don't stop. It's happened for me as well. When I first started training, this was something that, it wasn't that first initial option for me, but when I had learned to fall in love with it, I just never stopped. And it's gotten to me where I've gotten to this level of being able to, I believe, work with anybody. It just happened from not quitting, just keep it pushing, keep progressing, keep building on days on end without the quit.
Yeah,
right? You gotta just keep going.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, that idea that success becomes inevitable when you don't stop, don't quit is powerful. And when athletes commit to that level of consistency, it changes how they approach challenges and adversity. So you've built trust with athletes across all levels. How do you use communication and energy to create an environment where players feel confident, accountable, and ready to improve?
Yes. Well, the information has to be said in a way that could be taken in confidence. I've seen coaches where, they want to hone in on the details, but they say it in a way that doesn't really bring out that confidence. I like to always encourage, but also hone in on details. Like you can't hone in on details. Yes, but you have to be an encouragement. You have to show encouragement while honing in on the details, if that makes sense, because Those that just kind of hone in and don't show encouragement, it just kind of brings down the confidence of those players and the progression doesn't show. You want to actually progress by showing confidence, instilling confidence in your players,
Mm,
and just keep pushing
okay.
that way.
Yeah, no, that trust and communication that you talk about in terms of building that, that's a piece that's kind of something a lot of athletes overlook. And once that foundation is built, it allows you to adapt to really your coaching style to each athlete's unique needs. So, working with athletes from beginners to professionals requires adaptability, right?
Yes.
How do you adjust your approach while still holding every athlete to a high standard of growth and accountability? You got beginners versus pros. How do you adjust your approach?
Yeah, well, I don't really change my approach. I still feel like you have to attack every training session like you're training an elite athlete, that whether it's a
Okay.
youngster, whether it's an NBA player, I still attack
Yeah.
it the same way. But
Okay.
obviously there's levels to it. You have to start with a younger guy, you build your way up, you build the details up from the ground up. Some of the NBA guys, you don't have to do such, but you have to still approach it with that elite mindset. You want to give them a
Uh,
good workout. The
yeah.
younger ones
Yeah.
still approach it the same way, but you build them up fundamentally from the ground up. But the approach stays the same. I don't believe in, oh, I work out with a younger guy. I should keep it. I should change the way that I'm approaching my workouts. It's still going to be the same high intensity. It's still going to be the same encouragement. It's still going to be the same confidence building. There's a just different level that you have to approach it with for each player.
Yeah, no, I love that. And when you have a single, call it single high intensity approach, like you talked about, with high standards, it leads right into what separates elite performers. And you talk about mentally, right? Having that mental mindset.
Yes.
Let me ask you, for the next generation of athletes chasing success, what's the one mindset or daily system they need to adopt right now if they truly want to become built different?
I believe in, mhm, like how I have said, the mindset of just never giving up.
Love that.
But you
What
had
is what
mentioned,
is that one what is that one, like, phrase? I mean, do you have a phrase or something you wanna put on a T-shirt? Let's put that on a T-shirt and sell that worldwide from here to the Philippines. What is that phrase?
I might need to get back to you on that. I don't
Don't
have
quit.
my
I
own
like don't
phrase,
quit, don't
but I
stop,
do
right?
like the don't quit. Success comes from never quitting. I believe
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
success comes
Yeah.
from never quitting. You just have to keep
Success
pushing
comes
through.
from never quitting. Yeah.
So again, I'm sorry, Randy. Could you repeat that last question?
Yeah, yeah, no, I just
The
wanted to understand, yeah, what's that one mindset or daily system they need to adopt right now if they truly wanna be built different? What is that mindset or daily system for all of the next generation athletes chasing success?
I think you have to ask yourself within what you want to do with your career, because I feel like some
Mm,
kids
okay.
they train because they feel like there's some sort of pressure on them to do this. But I believe it's within. You have to know within that this is what you want to do, and that's the mindset
Yeah.
you have to bring every day because you wake up every morning to go to work. It shouldn't be somebody telling you or pushing you to go there. It should be you. It should be coming from
Yeah.
you. Hey,
I
I
love that.
need to get in the gym. I need to get myself here. I need to make sure this is what I'm working on. It has to start from within. So I think the success not only comes from not stopping, it comes from the the idea of I made this decision that I want to get to this finish line. I have to do this, and that to get there, and that has to
No,
come
I
from
love that.
within.
Yeah, and I love
Yeah.
that mindset shift of knowing what you want to do from within alone can completely change an athlete's trajectory. And if someone listening applied that today, if they can actually commit to it, the results over time would be undeniable. And that's amazing. Coach Justin, last question I have for you is thanks first for sharing all of your insight and philosophies and mindsets. But the question I want to ask you is open mic. Is there anything you want to share with our audience members, our listeners? It can be related to you, basketball. It can be related to the program, your teaching philosophies, anything that you want to share, kind of open mic.
Yes. Big thing for me, basketball aside, like I said, my mindset is really knowing what you want within, because I believe whether you make it in basketball or not, knowing what you want within is going to take you to the success and the place you want to get to. I've seen guys that have, started in basketball, maybe inside that's not exactly what they wanted, but they've built up, this is how I gotta work, and then they found success outside of basketball. So like having that built up mindset already, knowing what you want within, sometimes it doesn't work out on the basketball court. What else can you do, and how else can you build up that mindset to bring success outside? So I just truly feel that whatever it is that you do, again, you don't quit, you don't stop, you build up that confidence within, and you just make that decision. This is what I want to do at the end of the day, and you're going to get there. It just takes some time. Everything happens over a period of time, and progression happens slowly. I think it's a slow grind, but it's as long as you're grinding, you're going to get there.
And I love that. Coach Justin, I appreciate you for bringing real, authentic development into our conversation today. This is what Built Different looks like. Family, that was real. Coach Justin didn't just talk about training. He broke down what it actually takes to grow: confidence, consistency, communication, and the discipline to show up, even when it's hard. He mentioned success comes from never quitting. From youth athletes to the NBA, his perspective is clear. Success isn't about talent alone. It's about habits you're willing to repeat daily. So if you're an athlete, understand this: confidence is built through action. If you're a parent, the right development environment changes everything. Train with coach. And if you're a coach, education and trust are your foundation. If you're just about becoming a more confident, consistent, and complete athlete, then you need more than just workouts. You need a system. You need the mindset. Because in order to accomplish elite performance and long-term success, you need exactly the right mindset, training, habit building systems, and structured development strategies that align with your goals. If you did commit to a system that builds your confidence daily, imagine where you would be in 6 months. That's the difference. Coach Justin, we appreciate you, your energy, your leadership, and the impact you're making on the next generation. Thank you again so much for your time. This has been so valuable.
Coach, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you again. Hope to talk to you soon.
And this is where Athletic Connect comes in. Through tools and services like the Victory Compass, Power Hour, Mindset Mirror, Goal Sync, Fight On Mentality, Built Different Mindset, and the College Pathway Intelligence, athletes and families get more than inspiration. They get a real framework for growth, a framework that helps them gain clarity, develop elite habits, strengthen their mindset, and make smarter moves for the future. If today's episode resonated with you, don't just listen and move on, apply it. Watch and listen to the Built Different Studio Podcast on all major podcast and video platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And if you believe your story, your leadership, or your journey can impact the next generation, visit www.athletic.connect.com. That's with an IQ, and fill out the application to be on the show. This is bigger than content. This is about building champions in school, sport, and life. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Fight on. Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.